Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a comprehensive guide to how to get the best Smeargle for shiny hunting in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Before we jump into this video, I'll highly encourage you guys to check out my shiny hunting tutorial if you have not done so yet, where I teach you guys how to shiny hunt in Pokemon Sun and Moon using the Adrenaline Orb or SOS method. If you don't know how to shiny hunt yet, you might want to go watch that really quickly before you build out this Smeargle set, but I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to build out the perfect Smeargle to do the shiny hunting method and be able to do it for a very, very long period of time. Now, the chain doesn't seem to really matter with this new method, but the longer the chain you go on, the better the Pokemon stats are going to be. So for the first time ever, really, I mean, DexNav did have it, but for the first time ever, we have an opportunity to get some really, really good IV shiny Pokemon, and Smeargle will help us do that. So the way we're going to do it is actually with a very customized Smeargle set that uses the Aleppo Berry and a move called Recycle to make it function better and longer than it could ever last before. So I'm going to show you guys every single step in the process as I do it myself right now, and I hope you guys really enjoy this video. If you do, hit that like button if you haven't done so yet, and definitely subscribe if you're new for daily Pokemon Sun and Moon content. So first thing we're going to do here, guys, is we are on Island 1, and I haven't beaten the game yet, so you're going to have to bear with me. I've only gotten up to Island 3, and you can actually do this whole method by getting to the beginning of Island 3, and you can complete building your Smeargle and start shiny hunting right away. You don't need this Smeargle to do this method, but it definitely is going to help out, and I highly recommend everyone build a Smeargle set to do this. So on Island 1, right here on Route 2, there is this nice little berry bush, and I recommend saving before you go into this berry bush. I'm going to just attack the berry bush, and I'm going to get into a wild encounter, so of course a little Crabrawler is going to jump out. So let me beat this Crabrawler really quick, and I'll show you guys what's next. Alright, so once that Crabrawler goes down, we can actually see we're going to grab some berries here. So I get a citrus berry, there's a couple more, I'm going to get a chesto berry, hopefully we will pick up a Aleppo Berry. If you don't find a Aleppo Berry, I get an orange berry. Come on, give me that Aleppo Berry, please. If I don't get a Aleppo Berry, there's a chesto, and a Aleppo Berry. So I actually got lucky. I got a Aleppo Berry. If it doesn't work out for you, I think you can just reset and you'll be able to potentially get some different berries. If not, just check some other berry trees and grab your Aleppo Berry. Now, the reason why we need a Aleppo Berry, and you might be like, what is going on with these berries here? Let me show you guys. So Aleppo Berry is a berry that when it's consumed by a Pokemon, if a Pokemon holds it, you can actually restore 10 PP to a depleted move. So the reason why this is so crucial is because you run out of moves a lot. You run out of attacks, and people kept asking, where do you get elixirs? Where do you get ethers? You can't seem to buy those items, so Aleppo Berries are going to be a best bet, and you only really need one of them to make this work, to get started anyway. So we get our first Aleppo Berry, and now let's jump into catching our first Smeargle. Alright, so once you have your Aleppo Berry ready, you are ready to grab your first Smeargle. Now you may already have a Smeargle, so if you already have one, don't stress it, you can just grab it from your box. But what you need to do is get the TM for False Swipe. Now False Swipe is automatically given to you at the end of Island 1, so you cannot miss it, so don't stress about this. So what I did was I actually taught False Swipe to my Decidui to make it things a little bit easier here. Now I'm on Route 2 on the first island, guys, so not too hard to find. This little patch of grass right here, you can just run around in, and I believe you have about a 20% chance to find a wild Smeargle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encounter my first Smeargle, I'm going to hit it with a False Swipe, and then by hitting it with a False Swipe, it's then going to sketch my move. So let me cut until I find a Smeargle and I'll demonstrate. Alright guys, so I found my first Smeargle here, and you can do one of two things. If you've already caught a Smeargle, you can teach your own Smeargle False Swipe, but in this case, I'm actually going to catch this one with False Swipe. So because I am faster, I'm going to go for False Swipe on Smeargle, and you do have to be faster than the Smeargle throughout this whole process, so keep this in mind, because we're going to be coming back to this Smeargle quite a few times here. So I use False Swipe, and then he is going to sketch my False Swipe, and now Smeargle knows the move False Swipe. Now please keep in mind, you cannot teach Smeargle any other move unless you use Sketch, and Sketch is a really cool move that allows you to learn any single move in the game except for Dark Void, which I'll show you guys a little tip. Instead of using Dark Void, you can do something different. So I now have a Smeargle in front of me that only knows Sketch, and I'm going to catch it. So I'm going to throw an Ultra Ball at it and see if I can catch it, and hopefully I'll be able to put this thing in the bag, add it to my team, and that will give us component number 1, a Smeargle with False Swipe. That's the first thing you got to do, is get your Smeargle with False Swipe. Then we're going to be working towards getting the next move on Smeargle, which is going to be the move Recycle. And Recycle is why the Aleppo Berry is so important. You can use the move Recycle to actually keep using that same Aleppo Berry in the same battle and be able to replenish your PP or power points, so that way you never run out of attacks during a battle during this orb method. And of course, the False Swipe is there, so that way you can knock the Pokemon down to 1 HP, so they're more likely to call for help. And again, if you haven't watched the Shiny tutorial, I highly recommend you guys check that out. So I have caught my Smeargle here. I'm gonna nickname it, and we'll cut to the next part. So once you got the Smeargle that you want with full swipe and a good nature, you don't have to really stress about that, but I personally wanted the timid nature on mine, so I got my full swipe technician, Bob Ross here. So he's gonna be pretty strong, and he's ready to take on some more Pokemon. Now, every 10 levels that this thing levels up, it'll learn Sketch again, starting at level 11. So level 11, 21, 31, 41, etc., you'll learn Sketch. But if you already have Sketch on there, you're not gonna do it. So it's good to do this process as you're playing through the game, and that's why I think this is like really great to start right at the beginning of the game, so you can build up your Smeargle for when you're done. So now I am in the 3rd island, and this is actually as far as I've gotten in any of the games so far, so you'll have to bear with me. But now I'm on the 3rd island in Mail City, and you can actually find some wild Pokemon encounters here, and we're gonna be looking to try to find a Trubbish. So let me cut till we get to the Trubbish. All right, so here we are in the Outer Banks of Mail City on the 3rd island, and I'm gonna be trying to find a wild Trubbish here. Now, if you've actually beaten the game, you can use Munchlax instead and use a hard scale to relearn a move, but I just found a wild Trubbish here, and I'm actually specifically looking for a female wild Trubbish myself because I want to be able to breed this thing down to a lower level. So luckily for me, I found a female on the first try, so I'm gonna catch this little guy and we'll go from there. Alright, so we've got our Trubbish at this point, and it doesn't know the move Recycle. The easiest ways to get Recycle in Pokemon Sun and Moon are to use a hard scale on either your Munchlax or a Trubbish, or even Porygon, or some other Pokemon do learn the move Recycle, but Trubbish seems to be one of the easier ones to get. So now that I have this female Trubbish, I'm actually going to head to Paniolo Ranch really quick. I'm gonna breed myself a Trubbish egg, and that Trubbish at level 3 will learn the move Recycle, and that's gonna be the second move we'll need for our Smeargle to have the perfect Shiny Hunting Smeargle set. Now, Trubbish is in a little bit different of an egg group that you might not expect. It's in the mineral group, so it's gonna breed with a number of different things. Some of those Pokemon that are easy to find are Carbink. Let me look through this list here. Carbink is a good one. Geodude if you have one. Sudowoodo can breed with it. Lunatone and Solrock. You can use Probopass, Gigalith, Crustle, Roggenrola, just to give you an idea on some of the Pokemon. So I'll probably grab a Roggenrola or something like that, breed with my Trubbish to get a level 1 Trubbish, and we'll cut till we get that point. All right, guys, so here we are on the 2nd island at Paniolo Ranch, and I'm gonna leave my Trubbishes here. I decided to actually just catch 2 Trubbishes and just leave them. And again, because I don't have hard scales, that's why I'm gonna be doing this step. So you can feel free to skip this step if you have hard scales and you have the move relearner and all that other stuff, because you can simply just reteach it, Recycle, but I'm not that far, so I can't do that yet. So I'm gonna breed 2 Trubbishes together. They're gonna hopefully have a little Trubbish baby, and then I'm gonna level that bad boy up to level 3 to teach it the move Recycle, which is gonna be very, very important. So let me hatch this egg, and we'll get that Recycling Trubbish ready to rock. Alright guys, so I've hatched my level 1 Trubbish, and now it's time to level it up. And again, we gotta get it to level 3 to learn the move Recycle, and we do want him to be just a little bit higher than that, so that way it will outspeed the Smeargle, because again, we need to be able to be faster than the Smeargle, so we can use Recycle ourselves and have the wild Smeargle sketch it. So let me train up this Trubbish a little bit, get him to a high enough level, teach him Recycle at level 3, and then we're gonna get the next sketch going. So you can see Trubbish just grew to level 3 and wants to learn the move Recycle, so we're gonna definitely teach it to him. You can get rid of pretty much anything, doesn't really matter. All we need the Trubbish for is for that move Recycle, which is probably the hardest of the moves to get. And now that we have that, we're actually gonna go right back to route number 2 on the 1st island, and we're gonna get our Smeargle to learn Recycle. And it's good to do this as you go again, because you can't learn the next sketch until you like sketch another move. So we're gonna head over to route 2 now, find another Smeargle, and get Recycle on our Smeargle. Alright, so I found that Smeargle on route 2. I'm gonna use my Trubbish here. I'm gonna go for the move Recycle, and hopefully the Smeargle will indeed sketch my Recycle. So that worked out perfectly. So Smeargle's now gonna teach himself the move Recycle, and all I need to do is actually switch into my own Smeargle now, and then I can sketch this Smeargle's Recycle. So that's the easiest way to get moves on your Smeargle as you're going through this. Now at this point, there's a number of different ways you can go with your Shiny Hunting Smeargle. The 2 main components that you do want are Full Swipe and Sketch. The 3rd main thing you're gonna want is an attacking move, and you could really pick anything. You could pick Headbutt, you could pick Extreme Speed, you could pick Return, you could pick Quick Attack, you could pick whatever you want, but the main thing is an attacking move that has a lot of PP. It's probably preferred, that can hit most things, that has 100% accuracy. So really feel free to pick whatever you want at that point, but now you can see that our personal Smeargle has 2 key moves: Full Swipe and Recycle. And giving this thing to Aleppo Berry is going to allow it to essentially last forever in battle. So the 3rd move should be that attacking move, and I'll let you guys decide what you want to go for. But I'm going to show you what that fourth move is going to be, and that is recover. So let's head to Melee C. Alright guys, so here I am at Kukui's hut, and the next move we're going to want to get is recover. Now it just so happens that these little Corsollas here actually learn recover. So what we're going to do is go right out to the water here, hop on our Lapras, and take a quick little joyride out to this one spot. Now you're going to want to make sure you're not actually going too fast, because if you're going too fast, you'll scare this away. You want to go to a spot with bubbles, and you see the little bubbles coming out. Now I'll actually scare the bubbles away just to give you an idea. So now there's no bubbles. You want to have the bubbles there, and the reason for that is you have a 20% chance to find a Corsola in the wild if it has those bubbles. And the move we're looking for is recover, which Corsola will always know in this location. Now you can also get a Kadabra and level it up to 31, or you can get a Staryu at level 10 that knows recover. There's a number of different things you can do, but I felt that this Corsola was pretty easy, and you can also find Marina here too if you want to check that out. But I can reset the route by simply going backwards, and now we are going to cast our rod here looking for a wild Corsola. And again, Corsola at level 8 does learn the move recover. So we're going to hopefully find a Corsola here. I'll probably cut until I find one. Maybe I'll get lucky and get it in the first try, but we're gonna get to love this. So let me cut until I find a Corsola. All right, so we found our wild Corsola here. And again, very simple, man. It's about 20% chance to find one, so they're not too rare, and they will always know the move recover at whatever level you find them. So they learned it at level 8, I believe, so not a big deal. So I'm just gonna chuck a dive ball at it, hope for the best, add this Corsola to our team, and then we're gonna use that same exact method we used before for recycle and full swipe to teach our Smeargle the move recover. Now again, you can use different moves to substitute this. You can use slack off, you can use a bunch of different things, but all you gotta do is get that recover on your Smeargle. So let's cut until we get to that point. All right, now we have our little Corsola here with the move recover. So I gotta level up my Smeargle up to level 21 to learn the next sketch, and then I can actually teach it the move recover by using that same Smeargle trick from before. So let me do some leveling here, and we'll cut right back to route 2 with that Smeargle. All right guys, so I found a Smeargle here. Hopefully we'll be faster and I can go for the recover now. And it looks like I am going to be faster than Smeargle, so I'll get my recover up. This Smeargle is going to sketch that, and now that my personal Smeargle is up to level 21, I have learned my third sketch, and that is going to be awesome because I can simply switch right into my Smeargle now, as we've been doing my little Bob Ross here, and we're going to get the third move that we need. The fourth move that we need is going to be that physical or special attacking move, as I mentioned before, whether you want to rock with like extreme speed or headbutt or whatever it may be. It really makes no difference. You just want to have some move that can damage the opponent, that can do something other than full swipe, because full swipe won't ever knock out the opponent. So it's usually best to have a different move that can hit your opponent hard. And now our Smeargle has 3 of the 4 moves it needs. And again, that fourth move can be really whatever you desire. So I'm going to take a quick cut here, and I'm going to tell you guys a couple other options you can do for your perfect shiny Smeargle, and let's do that right now. All right, guys, so this is the perfect Smeargle for your Adrenaline Orb method, having full swipe, recycle, and recover, and then a fourth attacking move. But there are some customizations you can make to your Smeargle to make it a little bit more effective in shiny hunting if you're doing something other than the Adrenaline Orb method. The first of those ideas is actually to give your Smeargle the move Soak. Now, Soak is a move that a lot of water types learn, specifically Psyduck at level 31, Alamola around 33. I think you can get it to Araquanid if you use a hard scale. So there's a couple different Pokemon that can learn this move Soak, and that's going to transform any Pokemon that you're facing into the water type, and that's incredibly useful against ghost type Pokemon like Palossand if you're trying to attack them, because you can't use full swipe against them. So turning them into a water type will allow you to do that. It also helps when you want to use this fourth move, which is Spore. And Spore you can find on Parasect or Paras at level 22, so it's a pretty easy move to find, and it will 100% put your opponent to sleep as long as they don't have the ability Overcoat or they're a grass type Pokemon. And again, Soak pairs very nicely with Spore because it makes it so they turn into a water type, and then you can put them to sleep with that Spore if you want to do that. So those are a couple different options for your Smeargle. Another idea would be to run the move Foresight or Odor Sleuth. Both those moves are relatively easy. Rockruff learns it at like level 15 or so. You can also get Machop at level 9, Growlithe at level 10, Yungoos at level 13 that'll learn Odor Sleuth or Foresight, and those moves will make it so you're allowed to hit ghost type Pokemon with normal type moves. But those are just some other options. You can really do whatever you want with Smeargle, of course, teach it whatever you want to know, but these 3 moves and giving it that Aleppo Berry are going to be the key to getting you guys the best possible Smeargle set for shiny hunting purposes. I'm well on the way to get mine. I hope you guys are doing the same. Definitely hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new for more Pokemon Sun and Moon content. And that's going to be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by Adrive, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.